Now let's get the latest on the disaster that is Disney's reimagining of Snow White, the film where the lead actress, Rachel Zegler, campaigned for Kamala Harris. That hasn't helped things.
Vote for Kamala Harris. And it's actually non-negotiable. Our rights are on the line, folks. Our reproductive rights. Come on. Go vote blue. And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business. Thanks.
Well, the reviews are in, and it's a film that has been widely panned. Even the most progressive publications really had nothing nice to say about it. It seems nothing will save this disaster. Let's look at some of the reviews, just some of the summaries here. Lazy and visually repellent, said The Independent. Exhaustingly awful and toe-curlingly terrible, said The Guardian. The most controversial Disney adult nightmare ever, said Rolling Stone. A strange hot mess, said the Huffington Post. And good enough for TV, said Vanity Fair. So that's possibly the most positive review we found there. The box office figures aren't great either. It earned $87 million on its global debut against the estimated $250 million it cost. Now, obviously, it will make more money, but you compare that to what The Lion King released back in 2019 made just in America in its first weekend. It was 191 million. So their expectations, obviously, when they spend that sort of money were a lot higher. Caro, it is a hot mess. Can they salvage something out of this?
Oh, I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, colour me shocked, but when you have the lead actress playing, you know, the title role in the film, coming out and alienating half of its potential audience by saying that Trump supporters, Trump voters and Trump himself should never know peace, F Donald Trump, that's another one of her lines in the lead up to this film. What do you honestly expect? I mean, they had to stop actually promoting this film because the promotions itself were so bad. I mean, it's not just the politics of the main actress, it's everything from casting someone who is of mixed race in a role that is literally supposed to be about a woman whose skin is as white as snow, from taking out the seven dwarves from the title of the movie because that's now seen as too problematic somehow. You know, Rachel Zegler was supposed to believe is just so striking that even the supermodel like Gal Gadot is supposed to be homicidically jealous of her. I mean, we're supposed to completely suspend our disbelief in this movie, apparently. And I just feel like she has this intense hatred for the material that she's working with. She calls it weird. She said the prince literally stalks Snow White in the movie, and they didn't want to do that. So it's just everything from the contempt for the original material to the politics to the casting has been a huge problem for this. And I have to say, I'm very much at the age where I'm reading fairy tales to my children, and it is refreshing to go back to those old classics that existed before a time of political correctness and wokeness, you know, went mental with these stories, and just engage in some good old-fashioned storytelling for children. So I will not be showing them this remake. I think I will stick with the original.
Well, no, because you'd have to watch it with them and that would be painful.
No.
Gab, Caro mentioned the fact that the seven dwarves aren't in this. And again, this supposedly progressive, tolerant, compassionate point of view, or we can't have dwarves, that's depriving seven actors of jobs, actors who don't actually get that many offers. And this is a film, a motion picture where they would have earned good money, would have had amazing publicity, and they're deprived of that because, I don't know, because woke Hollywood has decided even featuring dwarves in a title is somehow politically incorrect.
Absolutely. And it kind of goes to Caroline's point that it's clear that there was some contempt for the original material. The fact that the dwarves weren't featured, some of the comments that Rachel Zegler made. And, you know, there is so much to say about her. It was just infuriating to watch some of the clips that you just played earlier, Rita, of her in the election campaign last year, promoting Kamala Harris. And, you know, I think it's really on her to go back and correct the record now, because she was spreading a lot of fear and disinformation that it was a campaign saying that, you know, reproductive rights are on the line. Now that we've got Donald Trump as president, I think she owes the American people an apology that actually reproductive rights were not on the line. There's no national abortion ban. Trump is putting measures in place to actually support people going through IVF, but I doubt Rachel Zegler is ever going to give Trump credit or correct the record herself. But she has made so many comments which show that she does have contempt for the original material, as Caroline suggested. She seems to be quite impressed that it's this woke remake, and people aren't buying it. You know, you went through the figures earlier, but only $43 million in ticket sales for the opening weekend on a film that cost $250 million. That's not a lot of money. You went through and highlighted some comparisons. So The Lion King in 2019, $191 million. Beauty and the Beast in 2017, $174 million. People do not want to watch this new woke remake of this movie, and it's been in trouble for a while. You know, they scaled back the premiere that they were supposed to have. There's been a lot of controversy over the kind of political commentary that Rachel Zegler has made. And speaking to lots of different people, even some of my friends that have no interest in politics, go, why are they ruining this movie? It's a film that we all loved. It's a fairy tale, and then all of a sudden it's being rewritten. And some of the comments that Rachel Zegler has made are just going viral online for all the wrong reasons. She's so out of touch, and I think it really puts a bit of pressure on Disney about where it's heading. Are they going to keep doing these remakes where they have to try and make them woke or change the narrative and change the story completely? Doesn't make any sense.
Well, they could just write a new story. I mean, that's you don't have to take a classic fairy tale that's been loved for generations and destroy it. You can just write a new story about an empowered girl who wants to be a great leader and not call it Snow White. Now, talk about Gwen Stefani. She could be your sister, Cara. You two look very much alike. But this poor woman is facing, this is a massive pop star, has been for, decades now, but she's facing this tsunami of hate, probably unlike anything she's experienced in her career, all because she praised a video featuring Tucker Carlson. This was on X, and she called it an enlightening, intelligent, beautiful interview. Caro, it was an interview where they were discussing God, Christianity, and yet for the feral left, just the fact that Tucker Carlson was involved was enough to see her viciously trolled.
Yeah, and she's been called now this full-on MAGA supporter just because she tweeted that. I mean,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, not
that
there's anything wrong with that, but this is how the left and their cancel culture operates, because it was acceptable to enjoy Gwen Stefani's music when she was a Democrat supporter, which she was, and a donor. She hasn't even said that she is a Trump supporter, by the way. She hasn't even come out and had to say that. Yeah. It's just these little clues that people are picking up on that, ooh, she may be an evil red hat wearing supporter. We can't support her. And people are saying, oh, she must follow her husband Blake Shelton's politics because he's probably a Republican. He's a country singer. I mean, isn't that quite sexist in itself to believe that she can't have her own views as a woman? She must be taking her husband's views, but far from it for me to suggest that, you know, Democrats may be sexist. Look, no, it's ridiculous. Gwen Stefani is a cult icon, but she's constantly had these jabs being taken at her, and from her music being problematic because it featured Japanese harakiri girls, and ridiculous, just ridiculous.
The whole thing is ridiculous. So we've run out of time, Gab, but Blake Shelton's involvement is also hilarious. The fact that he's a country singer, so he must definitely be a Republican, and if he's marrying her, then she must be a Republican. But Yeah, this is the celebrity world. This is the feral left. They think they own singers, actors, athletes, and any of them deviate from that groupthink of the left, they get attacked like this as a warning to others. Ladies,
Always.
it's been a pleasure. Thanks for your time tonight.